All right, 6.5b, solving polynomials by finding the GCF. Well, today we're going to factor polynomials using the GCF, but we're also going to solve polynomials using the GCF. And GCF is the greatest common factor. So first things first, let's do some factoring. So it says find the GCF of each of the following. But we're going to go ahead and factor them all the way as well. So what we do is we look for the biggest number that divides into 4 and 24. That's going to be the greatest common factor of 4 and 24. And yeah, I agree, it's 4. But we can also get a GCF of the variables. And so this is x to the 4th, this is x to the 3rd. Well, it turns out that x to the 3rd would be able to divide cleanly into both of those. So that is our greatest common factor, is 4x to the 3rd. And then when we factor a GCF out, we reverse distribute, but we divide to find out what's left over. So 4x to the 4th divided by 4x to the 3rd, 4 minus 3 is how you would do that. You'd get an x left over. And then back here, the x is when you divide 4x to the 3rd into this, the x's will divide out to make 1. 24 divided by 4 is 6. And we are in factored form. To find out, to verify that you factored out the greatest common factor, just double check, is there anything more you could factor out? And there's not, so I feel pretty good about that. Put a little check mark. And that is factored form by factoring out a GCF. All right, on this next one, looks like a 5 will come out. So a 5 will come out of everything. And then this has 7, this has 6, this has 3. The best we can do is 3. So 5x to the 3rd, divide, and we are done. This may still be factorable. I don't think so by using some other method, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Degree 4 kind of got me thinking, but I don't think it is. So we're done by factoring just using a GCF. Okay, now that we're getting into the interesting stuff, we're going to solve by using the GCF. So this will be good. Let me do something real quick here. Actually, I think that looks better. All right. So on this next one, notice we've got an equation. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to use the zero product property that we learned yesterday. But there's a problem. There's one good thing. One good thing is this is equal to 0, so that's good. But the downside is this is not in factored form. This is not one thing multiplying with another thing. This is two things adding together. So what we got to do is take out a GCF. So 2 goes into 2 and 8. X goes into x squared and x. So we'll take out a 2x, divide, and we are now in factored form. And we can set this equal to 0 and that equal to 0, like so, and solve them. And that's something that we weren't able to do just a few days ago. So this is awesome. It also allows us to solve so many different equations that we normally just would be stuck. We wouldn't be able to do them. So on this one here, notice it's not equal to 0. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to subtract that 15n over. And then we'll factor out the greatest common factor. I believe it's 3. 3 goes into both of them. I think that's the greatest. But we also can take out an n. Divide, we'll get 2n. Divide, we'll get -5. And then do the zero product property. 3n could equal 0. 2n minus 5 could equal 0. And don't grab a calculator. You can do this. Divide by 3. We're good. Add the 5 over. Divide by 2. I like 5 over 2. But you could also have 2.5 if you'd rather. 2 and 1/2. Okay, so yeah, just to be clear, must be equal to 0. Must be equal to 0. Don't forget that. All right. And then on this next one, it's equal to 0. So let's factor out a GCF. Looks like A is the best we can do. And we get A equals 0, A equals -5. On this next one, get it equal to 0 first. Factor out a greatest common factor, so it'd be the monomial 3x. Divide, and then we get 2 solutions. All right, so hopefully you enjoy solving polynomials by factoring the GCF as much as I do, because I think it's kind of cool. And I just know how helpful it is in other disciplines, in science and in other math topics. This is hugely important. Have a good day.